Alright, it is Sunday and we are seeing some volatility on the charts, even though it is the weekend. So let's go ahead and jump into the price action, going over the TA and my thoughts because we are seeing a potential breakout here on Bitcoin. But once again, because it is the weekend, can we trust the breakout? Are we going to pull back to fill that CME gap? Very likely. So I definitely don't be FOMOing into longs, but at the same time, still very bullish price action that we are seeing on the charts right now. I think the case to be made for Bitcoin going back up to the top side of the range, potentially, all the way back up to all-time highs is now very good, especially with what we're seeing with rotations in the stock market from money flowing out of the US dollar and even the S&P into more risk on assets in the Russell, the smaller cap stock indexes. So outside of Bitcoin, charts are still looking very good, but of course it's the weekend, so they're closed right now. No point to cover them again. What we'll do is kind of just cover Bitcoin in the short term, cover the TA, why we had this pump. You could say it's because Trump survived an assassination attempt. The timing was impeccable for that. You can see on the hourly time frame we had this wick down into this previous sweep level. Right when that happened, over here on Trading Light, we can see a bunch of shorts started getting opened, very high negative delta coming in there and then getting absorbed by buyers and immediately squeezing on up, liquidating all of those shorts, while at the same time the open interest was coming up. So this was not just a short squeeze, it was a short squeeze with heavy buying pressure, showing that this was a bullish move to the upside, and we have seen continuation from open interest up into these prices. So yeah, this move up doesn't necessarily look bearish, even though we are going to have that CME gap that we'll talk about in a second. There's nothing in the order flow that tells me this would be good for a short. I'm not trading it down to that CME gap. I'm just going to be very patient with longs. I'll wait to see if we do in fact get that pullback, into those lower prices. We are seeing some bigger sell walls coming in, looking to fill shorts. If we do get, one more sweep up higher, this is definitely a level that we could pull back from. Once again, you can never really trust the weekend pump, so we'll be watching this sweep level here to see if there is a swing failure, especially if open interest does decrease coming up into some sort of swing failure with a failed auction. Could indicate to us that you actually do have the probabilities in your favor for a pullback, but once again, just the buying pressure we're seeing in this zone, the levels we are at right now, back testing these previous volume levels, it tells me structure is very bullish right now, and let's talk about all that. So we have been mentioning volume levels and how we had not had any confirmation of breaking out of this range, that all this potentially was right here was a bearish back test of our previous ranges before continuing down lower, and I wanted to see a breakout and back test of these volume levels to have confirmation this was in fact your low, and that we are going to squeeze up to 64.5, potentially all the way to all-time highs, right? And I think at this point we have certainly confirmed that. We have gotten through these volume levels, back tested them as support, and we are now continuing on up higher right now. While I wish this would have happened during the week so we don't have a massive CME gap being formed to the downside, those gaps are never a guarantee and we don't have to fill them. And structurally, as long as we don't make a lower low, there is reason to believe we will just continue up here because of the divergences on the chart. So if you go ahead, pull trends, you can see on every time we make a higher low within here, these higher lows on price are actually met with lower lows on RSI, making hidden bullish divergences. We see this once right here, which was the flip of this golden pocket into support, right? Very bullish sign to be flipping the golden pocket into support. And after we did start breaking up into these highs, we see the continuation of this trend, higher lows on price, lower lows on our RSI, once again right there. And as long as this is to maintain, as long as we're not to create a lower low on candle closes, right? Wicks are a different story, and that's why, even if price is to shoot up here, you could easily get wrecked on a long because it could do something like this where structurally on candle closes it's very good, but you might have a wick that comes all the way down to this volume level and takes out all of your late longers within here. Very possible something like this were to happen. Very possible something like that can happen. And if we were to, maybe open up here for CME, which we've been talking about, just so you can see the chart for that. What I'm giving an example of is if we were to close, tomorrow's day at 61.5, this is where CME opens tomorrow, right? If this were to happen, you would have a CME gap all the way throughout this area here. But if you know anything about gaps, they don't need to be filled 100% of the way. So in this example, we do just make a higher low, but have a quick wick down to this volume level within here. This volume sitting at 58.8. If we were to close up here and, fill to 58.8, well, there you go. Now you're filling most of this CME gap, and that is entirely valid, something to be watching out for. It's all just if-then situations. You're never going to predict the chart, but we can kind of come up with different scenarios and how they could play out and what the probabilities might signal. But overall, definitely, the structure has flipped bullish. We have claimed back above this previous range that we were in. And at this point, I certainly do believe we're going up to 64,500. I don't think the bearish retest is valid anymore. No, I mean, this is clear confirmation of breaking out of the range with bullish support, and outside of quick wicks down, maybe just something to fill the CME gap, we could wick to this box. This is kind of the bottom side of where I think we'll get to is 57,500. It's the 57,800 sweep level from these lows, and here represented by a poor low on the TPO profile. If I can pull that up for you right now, this is the level I'm referring to over here at 57,800. Multiple prints on your TPO profile signaling this could get swept. That's a potential level where there is liquidity sitting. That is not a good low on the daily profile. If we were to, let's say, go ahead and grab this for the CME gap fill, this is definitely a potential long opportunity for me after cleaning out that liquidity. So that's kind of my lowest level of support. And then in that other scenario I gave where we make a higher high, higher low on the hourly closes, but have a quick wick down, maybe something like this goes ahead and fills these single prints, just cleans out these inefficiencies in the chart, sweeping these lows within here, but it's only on a wick. Those are just some guesstimates on price action based off of fractal recognition. But once again, it is the weekend. Price action is very unpredictable during the weekends, and the fact that we are getting a pump on the weekends is actually very unusual. But overall, very, very bullish that we are able to flip structure here into higher highs, break out of the range, and we now have pretty good confirmation that the next target is 64,500, and we'll just be waiting patiently to see what market sentiment is like when we get up there. Are we seeing Pepe go to $100 billion market cap, or are people still going to be bearish when we get up here calling for a retrace and roll over? The sentiment will kind of be my biggest indicator on where the market is at when we get up there, for at least rotating my spot positions, because I do believe we're kind of getting into those critical times in the market with the Fed cutting soon, that we do need to be looking for warning signs to potentially get out of the market if we do see certain things popping up. But so far, so good. Love that we saw the range break of these volume profiles. We also saw a range break on the weekly value area high. This is my levels indicators chart that I haven't really pulled up on the channel recently because there wasn't too much to talk about here, kind of just in this range bound area. A lot of noise within here, but now that we have broken out to the upside, we do see a clear back test on the weekly value area high, and now getting back above previous week's value area high as well, backtesting that as support. And now we're looking to fully accept back within this previous range within here, and once we have confirmation of that, then yeah, you're looking at that 64.5 like I've been talking about. Oh, and then I guess I should also mention this, if you're wondering why these dashed horizontal lines are now different colors. They used to be all white, but I went ahead and color coded them so that it's much easier to visualize. The purple lines are value area low, blue lines are points of control, and then these more greenish lines are your value area highs, all from different types of volume profiles, visible range, fixed range, as well as weekly, daily volume profile. So if you're wondering why they are different colors now, that is the reason, just to make it easier to visualize, and that's what the different colors mean. Right now on the charts, we are seeing Bitcoin pump to the moon right now. The 5-minute candle going crazy. Let's check order flow real quickly while we end off the video. Let's see if this is actually bullish. And well, we see with price shooting up here, open interest is decreasing, means that more shorts are closing than longs opening, but we do see heavy delta on here, so there is actually also a lot of buying pressure. Again, like I said, with those hourly hidden bull divs, there's no reason to be shorting this stuff unless you get that lower low, even if there is a swing failure pattern. Even though we do have a short squeeze going on, this could just continue to kind of pump higher here, at least until open interest does reset, and that's where I'll be more interested in potentially taking a short. Maybe we get all the way up to 64.5 by the end of this weekend. Open interest fully resets, and then, well, there you go, perfect short. You can take this all the way back down to wherever 50% of that CME gap is, the TP there, and then potentially we just continue the bullish trend on higher. But yeah, we're definitely seeing some volatility on the charts right now. Big short squeeze through these sell walls. Price did not care about these sell walls, did not respect them, and now we are continuing on up. Let's go to the 1 minute just so we can see if buyers are starting to step in, or if this is just a continual short squeeze. It is just a continual short squeeze, so not exactly super bullish, but this is exciting stuff to see right after that back test of the volume level we've been looking at getting to flip to confirm that these were the lows. And like I said, I'm very confident now in this structural change and for our targets to be much higher. And yeah, we're seeing that play out here right now on the charts. But if you do have any questions or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. And below that, you will see a link to my VIP Discord. If you do leverage trade and want some help out with that, go ahead, click on that link. It'll bullet point off all the different benefits you get for signing up with that VIP Discord. There's also a video I have on my channel just talking about that you can find in the free Discord. So go ahead, check that out if you want to. And then also you should definitely check out BingX. I'm running an event right now with them for some really cool rewards. You can get some deposit bonuses, that sort of thing, if you do sign up using my sign up link, and then you'll be able to join that limited time event. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.